Hey, everybody, welcome back to What Elon Said. Today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you, 2022. Today we have commentary about Twitter's potential, Tesla's expansion at Giga Shanghai. We've got NFTs. We've even got commentary on Pete Davidson. So let's jump into it. We'll cover everything that Elon said. So, first up here, we have Holmar's catalog with when Elon Musk got into online payments, it changed the world. And when he got into electric cars, it changed the auto industry. When he got into space, it revitalized the sector. Even side projects like Starlink have changed lives. What impact will he have on social media? And we have Elon responding here saying there's so much potential with Twitter to be the most trusted and broadly inclusive forum in the world. That's why we must clear out bots, spams, and scams. Is something actually public opinion or just someone operating 100,000 fake accounts? Right now, you can't tell. And algorithms must be open source with any human intervention clearly identified. Then trust will be deserved. So I think that this was like a pinned tweet from him for a couple hours. Been a lot of action on Twitter, but this one, yeah, he I guess felt that that was a pretty well worded tweet because he pinned it there for a minute.
Yeah, that and I mean, here he gets right to it. This is the reason he's acquiring Twitter, just to clean house. I know everyone's making it about giving voices to the extreme sides, but when it comes down to it, all these fake accounts is really what's making the anger. And I
Yeah,
think once those are cleared out, it will be a very different place.
yeah, yeah. I've actually had some experience recently too, not just with fake accounts, but with how I can see everybody's responses. And sometimes I just don't like the way that the interface works to where, I'll see a tweet that I'm interested in, and then keep following it down. And a lot of the responses are kind of hard to get to. And sometimes it's like,
Yeah.
okay, show more. You have to. There's extra clicks involved that I don't think should be required.
Hmm.
But,
That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's all. It's like two tiered what he's trying to go after here. One is just making it fun and user friendly, and the other is, just making it, I guess, authentic or authenticating the accounts.
Yeah.
So,
Make
but they
it, I
go
think you
hand in hand.
suggest you should put a suggestion in to Elon.
Yeah, into the suggestion box. Maybe that's
Yes.
coming. So you
Here
touched
we
on
have
this
Dave.
yesterday. I'll let you take this
Yeah.
one.
So he's just commented on Dave Lee saying he's in the middle of nowhere, camping, no reception. And as soon as he put the Starlink up, high speed internet. So
Hmm.
and then someone asked, will um, Starlink stop people from traveling outside their home location? No. So they could go anywhere they want. It's
Yeah, I
good.
mean, I think it'll actually encourage that.
Yeah.
But I,
So it's just a cool thing. We've been seeing this, but it's always good to see the reinforcement that it's not just like cable at your house for internet. You can bring it anywhere.
yeah, I can't remember if Elon tweeted it, but there was also some other Starlink commentary specifically related to Ukraine situation again over the last day, and yeah, it was like some footage of troops using Starlink, which I thought was
Pretty.
fascinating. So
Yeah.
good.
It's communications, everything
Yep.
in battle. So it's helping them out.
Yeah. But I
Very
saw
cool.
that Dave Lee posted a video of him sitting in his car doing his update. So
Oh yeah, it's good. Uh, Here, I don't know if you want to take this
yeah,
with
we got
NASA.
a
This is
couple
big news.
SpaceX commentaries or tweets related to
Yeah.
SpaceX and their partnership with NASA. So this was really NASA administrator Bill Nelson saying that he fixed or he backs fixed cost contracts like those given to SpaceX um, for Dragon and Starship development, saying that the cost plus contracts like the ones given for SLS and Orion have been a plague on the agency. You just get it done cheaper. Essentially, you get it done cheaper with SpaceX.
And
And just
working.
what's that?
And working on time.
And working fast.
Yeah.
Um,
So really dig at Boeing in general, the way they operate. So it's it's definitely a plus for for SpaceX.
Yeah. And then this was a little bit later, but related as well, where there was a post on Slashdot where SpaceX engineer says NASA should plan for Starship's significant capability. So the gist of the post, and here I'll put it up on the screen here. Well, Elon says Slashdot has some of the best comments, but the gist of the post is that that NASA essentially is like focused on a local maximum, to use Elon's terms, right? And they're not focused on the fact that Starship is essentially going to 10x the payload that can be brought up into space, and they need to start thinking on those levels. Um, but when Elon noted that some of the comments here were the best, I think he's noting this last line here, which is the engineer says NASA's not thinking big enough. I think it's pretty obvious what the payload should be: a nuclear powered boring machine with flamethrower weapons just in case.
He had to have been referring to that.
It had to be. Again, back to like how does he consume this much information? I mean,
I
we
don't.
have trouble just keeping up with the things he's consuming, let alone consuming them ourselves. So,
Well, he is an optimist, and he's just creating his children.
hmm, I don't know. Maybe. I guess that's one
Could
theory.
be.
But yeah, that was pretty much it about SpaceX. But yeah, I think it's always good to see NASA and leaders in those arenas speaking highly of SpaceX, because when it comes down to it, it's the science, right? And SpaceX is winning on the science. Take out the
Yeah,
politics or
SpaceX is
whatever else.
winning, and that's great to see an engineer saying that. I just wish there was more of at least publicly discussing, so we know. I haven't heard what NASA is planning to do with all that payload space. Like
Yeah,
it, suddenly you don't need to spend billions to have a satellite that needs to fold on itself. It could just be the satellite.
yeah,
So you could save tons of money on all launches or and all exploration. I know that talking about the moon landings, but and the moon space station, but what's the plan for if you have 1,000 starships? What's the plan? And I hear nothing about that from NASA planning to actually use what is given to them.
I'm guessing that Elon would agree with your frustrations. It like goes back to why he started SpaceX to begin with, which is when he went to NASA's website and looked for their plan to go to Mars. There wasn't one, and he was
There
extremely
wasn't one.
frustrated with that.
Yes,
But I mean,
and they've known this is coming for years.
yeah, maybe
And
not.
there's
They didn't anticipate this speed at which SpaceX
no,
is
I mean the
operating.
pace of speed.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I mean, there's some
Um,
details in this post as to like just the magnitude of volume that Starship can handle, taking up there. So,
you know, tons. I
mm,
mean, I honestly, we're going way off into this, but the only capacity I'll see is they'll be private, and there'll be a lot of people complaining that the only people like private companies are benefiting from space, but the government won't do anything. The only government agency I think that will do a lot with it is the military, which is unfortunate.
mm. Well, Elon has said that he really hopes that neither company ever gets to the point where they would have to militarize their resources. I was listening to the interview from I think a month or two ago. Um, I don't even remember what the interviewer's name was, but I think it was in Germany, and yeah, they were talking about Russia um, not sending equipment or engines, rocket engines, um, for use anymore.
Yep.
And so, Elon was just saying, yeah, I mean, that's going to cause some issues for other organizations that are trying to get up into orbit, but not for us. So,
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
but
We'll
well,
see.
we're lingering on this topic because this is really why we started this podcast, is really to go over things like this. But
Yeah. I mean, it even says up here, Starship will, in
yeah,
fact, be able to deliver 100 times more than 100 times the surface of the moon. I don't see the side, but it says more than 100 times NASA's baseline goal.
yeah.
So, yes, I'm looking forward to talking more about this. Hopefully, Elon has more to say about this going forward
Hmm.
rather than just the Met Gala.
Yeah, I mean, look,
So
I think we take the good with the weird, I guess. But
yes,
I think it will ultimately be a big year for Starship, because I think
yes,
the back half of this year will hold a lot for us on that front.
I hope so. So all right, well,
Yeah.
moving on.
Moving on to not so deep topics again. Earl of Frunk Puppy, notorious for his Frunk Puppy Friday, says, "What did I do wrong, Elon Musk?" And of course, he responded to Pam Keith, Esquire. We talked about her yesterday. Who she's not in Congress, but she wants to be, right? But Elon says here, "Yep, you talked to an NPC with Agro 255." Um, Yeah, non-player
I don't know what
character.
that
I
means.
don't get the aggro, but
I don't know.
maybe someone can
Oh,
school us on that.
okay, maybe that's it. Yes. Oh God, I should know. But basically, he gave comments and she blocked him. Right.
Yeah, yeah, basically. Um, and we'll just pull them up on the screen. Won't talk about them more, but I think Tesla Silicon Valley Club makes a good point here, saying I seriously don't understand politicians and their hate for Tesla. It literally brought manufacturing to the USA, and companies were leaving in huge numbers, and Tesla decided to build cars in California. It's provided over 100,000 jobs and more to come. And Elon says, yeah, Tesla's now over 110,000 direct jobs and roughly 500,000 indirect, factoring in suppliers. So, I
Pretty
mean,
amazing.
it's an American success story. And yet, uh, well, I don't know if it's just fear for the support and the power that maybe Elon is accumulating as his Twitter followers go up by the tens of millions over
Yeah,
weeks. But they're definitely upset about it.
that's right.
And he also liked this, which was a meme here, of a bunch of faces in a protest saying, "What do we want? What the TV told us to want. And when do we want it? When the TV told us to want it." So,
Yes,
just I'm gonna boil this down, all this stuff, to Elon's belief that you should think for yourself and
yes,
not follow tribe mentality, and you know, boil things down to a
yeah.
physics approach.
People, and in the sense that shows me like he thinks people are smarter than uh are led to
Yeah,
believe.
then the
Like
media
a
makes them out to be.
politician saying, "Don't do this." You know,
Yeah,
they expect you to just to follow what they say. So
yeah. And I
I
think
believe
he's
that people are
also
smarter.
aware of the fact that we are in a universe where we have tried to make sense of things, but when it comes down to morals and ethics, that's not physics. And so
No,
it cannot be the laws of the universe, and so therefore anything is open for belief, and
that's right.
there should be a free marketplace of ideas, and it shouldn't be certain ideas shouldn't be squashed, or any ideas, you know.
Mhm.
Just
Well,
back to the Met Gala too. Here he's
yeah. On to the
giving his
serious
best Looney
news.
Tunes. Uh-oh. What?
On to more serious topics.
Yes, I did like how he was a little sarcastic about the whole event here.
Yeah, he was having fun with it.
Yeah.
So, and most of the things he had a brief comment or quick likes. That was pretty much it.
Hmm. Hmm.
Here he's jumping into the fray against Apple. He's making enemies of all the companies. Saying PayPal helped spur an antitrust case in Europe against Apple payments, and Elon says that 30% tax, 30% cut that Apple gets is a 30% tax on the internet, and definitely not okay. A lot of people always said this. The Google operating system is much lower for Android for what they take from developers.
Mm.
And he's saying it's literally 10 times higher than it should be. So he's saying the richest man in the world is saying, don't be greedy, but understandably.
That's it. I remember when this was all a hot topic. Gosh, over a year ago now. And just my personal opinion was, yeah, don't be greedy. Like, okay, you made this great ecosystem and platform, and yet it's like he said, it's like a walled garden kind of.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, do it for the betterment of humanity, not to make more money.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah. Okay, so
Uh,
this was an interesting one. Dana
mhm.
of Shadow Crew, which I guess is his new crew, Elon's crew, going back a couple days. If being born to a well-off family is why Elon Musk succeeded extravagantly in life, then explain to me why all these rich kids go to art school, never get a job, and waste away. And Elon says, yeah, kids starting with lots of money usually have much less motivation than those who have nothing. When we started our first company, him and his brother, Zip2 in 95, I had over $100,000 of student debt, a computer I built myself, and a few $1,000s. And then Pranay Padwal jumps in and says, and here people spread lies about you already belonging to a wealthy family and that your dad owned an emerald mine. And while starting Zip2, you guys didn't have a place to stay and had to shower at the YMCA. Also, while in college, didn't you guys turn your room in a nightclub into a nightclub to afford rent? He says, yeah, we paid for rent by turning the house into a nightclub and charging $5.
Yes. And also, what he didn't note there is that his mother was the person who collected the money at the door.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. He's been part of the mission from day one, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I just feel like I'm more and more aware as I've studied him, his history, what he's said, so much in an effort to really make this podcast accurate and provide decent commentary. Um, it really is amazing how little I think people know about him or have tried to learn about him. You know,
I agree.
I mean, there's like an Elon hate bingo out there of like all the reasons to hate Tesla that are not even accurate. So I don't know.
I think that's our calling. We need to make Musk the movie. Let's do it.
Yeah, it'd be good. I mean, I'm looking forward to the Walter Isaacson book. I think that
Yeah,
that would get quite an audience.
I think so. I think it will be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a lot of the media will read that book and well, hopefully it's enlightening. I don't,
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't read his other
you
stuff.
never
I mean, I
know.
heard the
You
Benjamin
never
Franklin
know.
one was good, but the Steve
Oh,
Jobs one was okay.
it was good, but you never know. He's
Yeah,
usually given free reign, so you never know what what will come out
yeah, exactly.
in those books.
Hmm.
But so here, Elon is going more on. I'm going to start this, but I think you know a little more about this.
Mm.
Elon is asking who funds these organizations that want to control your access to information. Let's investigate because sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Mm.
This is because of an article that said brands should force Twitter to uphold content policies under Musk. They're not saying what brands. Oh, it does say some
Yeah,
brands
there's a
there.
couple in there.
Um,
I mean, they're just major household brands that have a
yeah,
lot of power, and I don't know. It's to me, it was kind of revealing as to how the whole system works in some ways.
yes, yes.
But corporations, basically CNN is saying, hey, look, big corporations, you need to throw your weight around and tell Twitter that you won't give them money or won't advertise on their platform or whatever else to get them to make sure that they don't, it's not a free for all there and that they moderate content the way that they have been.
They
Um,
should, and I like how it's supported by Coke and Craft companies that endorse and encourage diabetes. It's very good.
mm, yeah. And that goes back to the Warren Buffett, Berkshire
Yeah.
Hathaway comment the other day. But yeah, so Elon's just pushing back here, saying, "Well, let's investigate here." Um, and then Prabhat Chaturvedi, I don't know why I always try to pronounce the hardest names here,
I don't know
but
when you say it, it sounds very French.
yeah, who knows? But few names will. He says few names will come up for sure, like Open Source Foundation, George Soros, amongst others. And Elon says, "I'll call him and ask." So then we go into these tweets literally trying to get George Soros's attention, where he wrote to Open Society Foundations, which is a foundation that Soros has given billions of dollars to, and I guess is a bit of a representative of. And
Yeah,
Elon saying, George, please slide into my DMs. Here's hoping, fingers crossed.
yeah.
And he went on to follow
And
George
this is nothing
Soros.
against open society. I mean, I don't. I think Open Society does a lot of good things. Some probably agree, not agree with,
Mm.
but I would say we're not here. I don't think Elon is saying or we're saying that Open Society is a bad thing. He's just talking about this one
No,
issue.
I don't. I mean, I don't know either. I don't think so. Um, and the particular video that he comments on is regarding, the Ukraine-Russian war. So we know Elon has feelings about that on the Ukrainian
Yep.
support side. So I don't know. I think they're sharing a message here, and I do feel like it was kind of a genuine reach out. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Also, I think he's frustrated with the control of power and that approach.
And now the memes start.
Yes,
Yes.
and then we have, "Will you be my girlfriend?" I forget what character that was from SNL.
Is the
That Elon.
German guy or
Yeah,
something? I don't know.
that was also related to the Soros topic. So here's just a
Um,
funny line from Elon. Ultimately, the downfall of the Freemasons was giving away their stone cutting services for nothing. Uh, had a number of jokes
uh,
in the last day too.
a lot of jokes, but
Yeah,
it's also a comment on Twitter that it's not just gonna be free.
yeah. And then someone responded here, Joe Gebbia, who he also went on to follow as well. They couldn't compete with the discount
With the
Masons.
discount music.
And Elon says some revenue is better than none. And then there you go, bringing it back to
Yeah.
Twitter. It says Twitter will always be free for casual users, but maybe a slight cost for commercial and government users. Interesting.
Yeah. That's so I mean it's free now. It's just a question of whether they'll that'll subsidize it and they'll get rid of advertising, but who knows?
I mean,
We'll see how
I
Twitter.
guess if a company is using Twitter, it's ultimately a form of advertising anyway, isn't it? I mean, unless they're like
If people see their
responding,
tweets, yes,
yeah, unless they're like responding to customer complaints or something. But
that's right. That's well, you could say everything's advertising, but yes.
yeah. Well, speaking of advertising, here's one advertisement for Tesla. Did you get around to the big news yesterday?
Yeah, see that Giga Shanghai output making its world's largest vehicle export hub. They plan to double Giga Shanghai. So that is
Yeah.
very impressive. I gotta say, I did not dig in to read more details on it, but
Mm,
I don't know. I'm guessing they're expanding the plant and not
yes.
doubling the output of the existing infrastructure.
Yeah.
Um, they got
So,
to make up for lost time for being shut down.
well, I know. I mean,
It's
I
that
read some things today that like it's amazing how fast they're catching up. There was a lot of support from the
yeah.
government and local authorities or whatever to help get
Good.
employees safely back to work, and they're humming over there.
It would be really interesting to see how just the whole plant because Elon it all boils down to the production process for him in the end, right? He always says that's the key. The car design is just nothing compared to the plant.
Hmm.
And it just would be interesting to see how they iteratively improve the plant. How, it's not just a plant, but it's like a constant upgrade.
Yeah,
So everything from
continuous.
Austin, what was brought over to Shanghai and how, like, what's their curve of increasing efficiency each year? It's just crazy. It's unlike other operations in every way.
My guess is that the expansion there was just seen as the best option for getting more cars into Asia. I mean, like they could have gone in the Middle East or I don't know, somewhere else over there. I was gonna say Russia, but that definitely wouldn't happen. Um, but like I think things are working so well at Shanghai that they just concluded, let's just expand that, double the output, and meet the demand or help meet the demand over there. Now,
And they have the export infrastructure already in place.
yeah,
China's the best at it, so they'll just double down there.
yeah, and I think
Um,
with Berlin, I mean, I'm just speculating, but I think that these expansions will happen in Berlin and in Austin too, the next coming years. I mean, everyone wonders where are these next plants going to be. Well, they're now on multiple continents, the continents that they want to be on. So the shipping is now lower. The
Yes.
cost to get the final product to the customer is lower. So why not just expand those sites to boost
I,
out more cars?
my total speculation is that the Shanghai plant will be the first and biggest production facility for the robo taxis,
Mm,
and that in China
yeah,
they'll be able to expand it fastest. I think the government will be behind it and just kind of mandate it. So that's my
interesting.
guess of what's
Yeah,
going to happen down the line. That will mostly produce those kind of cars in the end.
I think that's a valid speculation there. Good thinking. Well, we'll move on. Although that was really exciting news, I think for
Yes.
us Tesla fans, and the reason we really started this podcast. But hey, we'll cover everything that he says. So, look, this was from Tim Urban, touching on the current event of the day, I'd say, in the U.S. about Supreme Court and the future of Roe versus Wade. And this is just a typical wait but why um, informative animation here, I'd say, or drawing. Um,
Infograph.
yeah,
Yeah.
infograph. There we go. And Elon said, "Hey, accurate." And just have it on the screen here. It's a little bit bigger. Pause the video if you want to look at it. I don't say we go too much into this because we did not start this to be a political or like commentary of the day type of thing. So
That's right.
we'll just leave it for what it is. But now Tim did mention here that for every critical comment, there were 15 likes. So you shouldn't not pay attention to your critics, but also be aware of how impactful one small like critical voice is to your overall like psyche, basically, and that there's a lot more positivity and support on Twitter more often than not than there is like the rage hate stuff. So
Yes, the squeaky wheel is not necessarily representative
yeah.
of everyone out there. Like a like, most people just like, and you should let that speak volumes,
Mhm.
even though they're not
Or
typing
don't say
something.
something and pass over it,
That's
but
right.
and then Elon just adding some positivity here. You guys are awesome, he says to Tim
Yes.
Urban and to Shibatoshi Nakamoto. Okay. Hey, let's get into the real
Oh
meat
yeah.
of this.
And Shibatoshi Nakamoto said, "I just woke up from a dream that Pete Davidson kept trying to throw me. I didn't appreciate that dream, Pete Davidson."
Mm,
Elon thought that was funny. So
yeah.
little joke, little this guy Shibatachi Nakamoto knows how to tweet. Um,
He knows how to get Elon's attention.
oh
They're
yes,
friends. And so does Ava Fox. Here she's got a picture of him at the Met Gala with a little drawn mustache on there. So
Shadow Crew as well.
that's right. Oh, so here we have Science Girl asking everybody, what is the most amazing thing you know? I will say that the wait but why response to this was pretty fascinating,
Huh?
including a little like 13-minute video that's worth watching.
Really? Okay.
But Elon's response was awareness awakening. So yeah, I not sure exactly what that means. I'll give my take, which is that it's either related to um, parenthood and seeing your children grow up and become more self-aware and that experience of kind of coming into the world. Um, but it also could be related to AI and your cars suddenly becoming self-aware.
Yeah, I mean, and it's so funny. It can be interpreted many ways. Like I interpret it, and you're probably right. I interpret it as more becoming self-aware, that
Hmm.
he's not a blowhard or just narcissist. He's aware of the impact he's
Mm,
having on others and his what the perception is of what he's doing. He takes it very seriously.
yeah.
That was my take. but who knows?
I
I had to look it up at first to see what is that a term, and it's not. But it was interesting.
This is definitely our open to interpretation Elon tweet of the day here.
Yes.
Um,
That is definitely a Hitchhiker's Guide type answer. That what's the answer to the universe? And
yeah,
the answer is the question. You don't know the question.
but the answer is 42.
The answer is 42. No one knows what
Woohoo!
the question is.
All right, so moving on. Hope if anyone listening has any thoughts on that tweet, put it in the comments. We'd love to hear what you think about that. Here we have Tesla owner Silicon Valley, two cowboy brothers with Kimball and Elon Musk, and this was, I think this was at South by Southwest. Maybe Kimball comes on stage, starts singing a song, like a country song. I don't know if he wrote it or not, but Elon's singing along and like dancing. It's a video, and it's Elon says, and that's why I'm not in showbiz.
Yes.
Because it was
Two
pretty
South
funny.
African cowboys.
That's right. I would say South Africa's probably got similar terrains to
I
Texas
would
in some
say
ways.
maybe.
And here's Sir Doge of Coin saying, "Same energy, never change." Elon, just goofy pictures of him from when he was younger and now.
Yeah, there's still enjoying himself.
Yeah. A great reference here. Yeah, from Ali. This is the Third Row Tesla podcast. It's about a 3-hour video. I was going to mention this yesterday. Super weird because I've been watching rewatching it, and it's just great. I mean, it's authentic Elon. Great questions from the group. It's just a great entryway into like all things Elon, and I would totally agree with Ali's comment here that not scripted, being genuine. People need to watch this if they really want to understand Elon.
Yeah, I still need to watch this. And Elon liked it, so
Yeah.
he felt that it was really authentic as well. So for someone who's self-aware, that he liked it. So
I think it also gives a
I'll have
good
to watch it.
image of what it could look like if he does another one of these sort of panel discussions with like Dave Lee and Rob Maurer and stuff.
That'll be good. Yep. And what Elon said. So here we have, this was out like a week or two ago, but
Yeah.
for some reason it got to him now, where there was the the self-driving car that was pulled over, I think in San Francisco, and there was no one in it. Then the policeman just let him go. I just don't understand how the car knew to stop for the policeman and then start when it was allowed to go at that point.
I know. I really have no idea what
seems kind of
actually
staged to me
happening
in a
here.
way.
Yeah.
I still wonder if this is real.
Either way, it gets your head thinking about like, oh yeah, what's that going to look like in the future? That'd be wild. Very
but there's
self-driving future.
There is a discussion in general for the future of when everything is automated cars, that local police departments, towns actually will lose substantial revenue because a big chunk of the revenue is from ticketing.
Well,
and that will go away. So
it may still be parking tickets though. I don't know. Maybe they'll charge for parking, whatever. Maybe. But you wouldn't really need parking. So yeah,
no,
we'll figure it out some way or another.
We'll figure it out somehow. Walking ticket, jaywalking.
Right.
So, I don't know if you want to take this one.
Well, this is Michael Bahana. Well, so if you've noticed throughout the slideshow here, Elon changed his profile pic to be this Bored Apes collective here. And Michael Bahana says, Elon, as much as I admire your work, I'd like you to remove your PFP that I created for your profile pic that I created for our Sotheby's sale, or you credit me, laughing face. Happy to send you the original file minted with the buyer approval and a salute. So yeah, Elon now has stolen this and made it his own. And then he went on to tweet and say, I don't know, seems kind of fungible. Which at first I read as like a play on words, like seems kind of fun, but also fungible. But I think what he's just saying is like non-fungible tokens are stupid. Like I just took it and I made it my profile pic. Like
that's right. He's not a fan of that. It's interesting.
All right, we'll wrap it up here. This is a happy birthday wish for little X. May the force be with you on this May 4th. And this was from Eva Fox, and he liked it.
Yeah,
Baby
excellent.
with dad. All right. Well, that just about wraps it up for us. Yeah. May the 4th be with you. If you like the video, give it a like and consider subscribing. We'll be back tomorrow. See you then.